Isa, how heavy should I be lifting? This is a great question that I get all the time. If you were in the beginning, meaning level 1, phase 2, and if you have not been training for a while, I do not want you going to a point that you hit muscle failure. But before we talk about muscle failure, I need to remind you about our guiding principles, the MML, mobility, mechanics, and then load. Mobility, that means is, do you have the mobility to do that exercise? If you don't, then you need to work on the mobility. How do you know? You did the assessment, right? Now, if you're the type of person that you are a little bit like me, you're too hypermobile. The mobility, it's not about if you have the mobility, it's about can you control your mobility. And there are exercises that I'm going to show you that you can do to be able to control your joints. Okay, a lot of neuro stuff that we do, you'll be able to control the joints. Now, you do have the mobility, or if you can control the mobility, now the mechanics. Can you do the mechanics correct? Can you hold the mechanics throughout the entire exercise? Yes, awesome. Now we're gonna talk about load, okay? So the only way that we're gonna talk about muscle failures if you've been training with me for at least 3 months. Also, second is you are respecting the principle, the guiding principle. Deal? Perfect. So, what is, don't bark. He's like laying down and barking. This is like a whole new level of being lazy. So the whole point of the muscle failure, I want to explain to you this. I hope you can see this. If you cannot, I will ask Awesome João to put it in the video. So this is your muscle. I want you to think about all the muscles that you have, and you have a bunch of fibers like this. When we train and when we lift heavy, you get tiny little, what we call micro tears, okay, in your muscle. Boom, 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 boom. Those tiny little micro tears, okay? And what happens is when we rest and we eat enough protein, we can, let me make it blue, we can recuperate those muscles. Now my muscles are getting stronger, right? And getting not necessarily bigger, a little bit, but getting stronger, okay? But in order to see this happen, you see that is a combination between I'm getting to muscle failure, meaning I am more purposefully creating tiny little micro tears. That's why we get sore, okay? One of the reasons we get sore. Second is, am I eating and adding rest? Okay, perfect. Now, what does the muscle failure look like? I have a 5-pound kettlebell and a 30-pound kettlebell. We're gonna use the 30-pound kettlebell and we see how we're gonna get this. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do enough reps, but I can still show you. Hopefully this is not cutting my head. I'm gonna do this because my knees are like babies. Okay, I don't think I can do this. But think about it. If I'm doing bicep, I am helping with the other arm. But if I'm over here, it's gonna get to a point that my bicep is going to locked, completely locked, and I'm no longer gonna be able to push. And now what you notice is, when I was doing the bicep, was I swinging my arm? No, so I was respecting my mechanic. Did I have my mobility to control it? In my case, hypermobility, can I control it instead of like overextending, hyperextending, right? Did I control right here all the way to right here? Yes. So I respect the principle. Then I went to muscle failure. Does it make sense? Awesome. Isa, do I have to go to muscle failure every single phase, every single training? No. I'm going to tell you when you should get it. Okay? So pay attention to your training. And I'll make another video explaining what those reps means. Why do I say 8 to 10, 10 to 12? I'll explain that to you. But right now, respect the muscle, the MML, the mobility, mechanics, and load principle, and tell me how do you feel and if you're ready to start doing muscle failure. Let's go.